This is part one of a several-part series that will detail the fast way to start a garden. We'll go over garden layout, organization, planting, harvesting, and most of all, building a fertile garden from forest byproducts local to your area. In 2024, after many years of successful market gardening in North Texas, we decided to close Tree Folk Farm and move to Southwest Arkansas. Before we broke ground, we started planting seedlings in a semi-conditioned shed with repurposed grow lights. Check online for used grow lights from failed potheads. They're all over the place and much cheaper than new.
Trays all set up, good place to get them started. I got more to do. I hope that it works well with them facing the other way because this thing's gonna be stacked full.
Right.
I got more flowers, I got spinach, I need to do my brassicas, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli. That would just be one tray.
You ready to go fishing?
I was ready to hit stuff with sticks.
You ready to go fishing? This is the garden design I came up with on a cold February day with a nice warm latte. We first started laying out the garden with marking flags, but quickly realized they were too tempting for our toddler to relocate. So Gwynny's gonna help us pull these out. We had marked this with 30-inch beds and 2-foot paths, but because it's at an angle, we might just have to lay it out as we go and fit however many beds we can. But the main thing is to have plenty of walking space. We're doing 3 foot from any borders over here. Then this will kind of curve. And we'll line straight up. So I'm using the deck as a continuation of the straight line, basically a 90-degree angle perpendicular to the house. That's what I'm lining up right here. And this is going to be a pathway.
Look at all the flags you've gotten. Can you get any more? No, don't stab me with that. Can you go put it in the wheelbarrow, please?
We're doing 10 feet space for in between the tractor. So this right here will be a tractor pathway. And everything else has the potential to be beds inside of the marks. So I'm way off.
When you come stand next to me.
Hold on, Otis. Go right here. Down?
No,
Down?
no, right where you are.
Put it right on that orange line.
On the line.
See, because I marked this too far, and then we'll leapfrog to the next line, Otis.
Okay. Put the end on the line because we're trying to get 10 feet. Very good.
Good.
Gwynny, you see that flag over there? Yeah. Can you pick those 2 flags up?
Good.
Yeah.
There was one right under Otis and one right behind Daddy.
This?
Yes.
Good.
That wasn't a flag, was it?
This is a flag.
Was that a stinky old balloon?
Now we've got a perfect
Flag.
Now we've got it marked. I guess it's time to till this area.
The boys rushed in from the
Whoa, that's outside the gate.
I showed him the
They
wings
get
on
in
the
the
window.
grass.
I never saw him so angry before.
Nice far shot.
He did not get the but set him up. Then he talked to all the boys.
What am I feeling? I'm feeling a bit hesitant
And said how hard-hearted and
because this land has quite a bit of grade to it. That's the biggest factor we're going against here with this garden. It's going to be gravity. But
My boots came
we've
off.
got this line right here that we marked was level, So we're gonna kind of base the bed on this line. We may do some beds down below too, but this is just what we wanted to start with. I'm gonna go get the tiller. Tools. This is the part where everyone will have their own strategic advantage, or lack thereof. We weren't always so well tooled. The first gardens we started were tilled with a mattock, a hoe, and a rake, and many hours of hard labor. If you plan on doing a larger garden, see if you can rent a tiller from a local equipment rental place or from a neighbor. My preferred way of clearing land, if you have the time, is with the silage tarp and sandbag, placed over the garden space and left for many months. If you prefer to start your garden in stages, you can do stage 1 on the fast way and stage 2 with the slow track. We know with this method we're brutalizing the soil, so we don't expect to have great results right off the jump. It helps if you can add compost and a balanced organic fertilizer with amendments like feather meal, crab meal, and composted manures. We didn't add compost and ferts at the time of bed shaping, and instead are mulching completely with shredded deciduous leaves on bed tops and adding wood chips to the pathways. By starting our garden this way, we've created a forest-based garden that acts as an earthworm habitat that will gain fertility over time. Here you can see we started removing rocks as the tillage was happening, and the next step will be to rake. A lot of people ask, why not just use a sod cutter? And with a sod cutter, you know you're going to lose the topsoil. So I prefer to do it with the tiller. It takes more time and effort, but you gain more topsoil.
The sound so strange that it made me put up the traveller's horse, burst into the stable with a lantern, and began to untie the horses and try to lead them out.
Alright, I'm going to start working on the garden now.
Okay.
It's day 2, starting to work on the garden. We've got a bunch of this raked up, and I like that the soil is starting to dry out. It'll make it easier to rake out the grass. We're going to do it 2 times. Then we'll shape beds. And then we're going to add leaf mulch on top of the beds and possibly hay as a mulch. And then in the paths we'll do wood mulch. After all that, we'll cover whatever we're not going to plant so that the weeds and the grass and everything dies and starts to decompose. So anytime you're moving soil in your garden, you have an opportunity to fill in holes, fill in gaps anywhere where you have this potential to stub your toe. I'm gonna fill that in. Yesterday my daughter was running back inside for the last time the day was over. She stubbed her toe really bad on this. So I'm gonna fill that in everywhere. Ow. Did that hurt? Yeah?
Yeah?
But you're wearing shoes today.
You want to see the other injury?
What other injury?
Right here.
You got another little boo-boo? Okay, you're doing shoes today though.
I got that on the same injury.
Yeah. It'll heal.
No, I always notice.
So I think this is a quartz arrowhead that I just found. We've been tilling and raking and raking and raking and raking. And look at this thing. I think this is
Can
an
I hold it?
Indian arrowhead.
Well, bye.
On.
Crazy. I've never found anything like that before.
Bye. So there she goes. That is the third time we've raked both these gardens. So we tilled, raked, tilled, raked, tilled, raked. Yeah, we're tired of raking at this point. The next thing we're gonna do is come in here with the BCS with the rotary plow, and we'll hill the beds and get them how we like them. We may run the harrow to flatten out the beds, or we may just use a rake. Actually, I skipped a step. The next thing was to mark the beds. This section had 18-inch pathways with 30-inch bed tops, making for a very easy 4-foot repeating layout. I still had to mark them twice because I forgot a path. The math on this section was a little bit more difficult with 24-inch paths and 30-inch bed tops. So we got some odd sized and shaped beds here, but we really wanted to keep this 10-foot path for the tractor to come in and out. They have a nice wide lane. And over here we have 30-inch beds with 18-inch paths. So those are really easy to mark, and we'll lose a little bit of bed on this sort of nice rounded pathway here, but I believe we're gonna have 4 to 5 beds in here. I think this last bed will just be a little bit bigger, a little bit more path. We decided for this odd area we'll probably end up mulching the whole thing and doing maybe a row of raspberries, blueberries, something like that. And then down here, we ended up really with 4 beds on this side. These beds are going to be the same 30-inch bed top, 2.5 feet, with a 2-foot path. So our hope is to have a little bit more space for things that like to vine, like sweet potatoes, watermelon, stuff like that. Okra gets super huge. We ended up coming on down the way here where we hadn't tilled. So we may or may not add these beds, but we went ahead and marked it out just while we were marking. And it gives a good reference. You could tell the bed is higher over on that side and it droops this way. Some of these are somewhat level, pretty level. We'll shape the beds, get all kinds of forest duff in there. We'll shred a bunch of stuff, leaves, and just try to cover as much as we can with the forest duff. And then we'll come back and paths, everything. So y'all stick around. This is building a forest garden from the forest. Of course, this is full sun, but this is building a forest garden 2025. Y'all stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.